Okay, in this section we're going to create this portion of the body, which is like they're like it kind of looks like pants, and then we're going to attach the legs to that. So we're going to do that in a different kind of way. Okay, to do that, the first thing we're going to do is choose a different color, of course, because you want that to stand out as part of like the pants or the underwear or whatever you want to call those. I don't know. Um, so we're going to start with a chain of 70. So you create your slip knot on your hook and chain 70. Yep, that's right. I said chain 70, 70. So we're going to go ahead and chain 70. Just make a simple chain of 70, and I will be right back when we get to 70. Okay, we're back. We've chained 70, so now you should have a long chain with 70 stitches. So what we're going to do now is we're going to join this with a slip stitch. Okay. Just make sure it doesn't twist on you, because this is the part that's kind of difficult, and it gets so that you can't, or it wants to twist on you when you do this. So we're just going to join that with a slip stitch. See, this is what I mean by don't let it twist on you. You got to get the yarn just right. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're going to join that with a slip stitch. All right. Okay, and then once we do that, we're going to chain 1. See, it gets a little frustrating. I know this is a little unorthodox, not your typical way of crocheting, but this is how I created this, and this is how it actually kind of works. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a single crochet all the way around in every chain. So you'll still have a total of 70, counting this one right here. So it's going to be 69 single crochets. And then with the first chain here, that'll be a total of 70. So we're going to go ahead and do that, single all the way around, and then we'll be right back once I get that far. Okay, that was row 2. When you get to the end, you're going to join it and chain 1. Okay, so let's see, we're going to chain 1. Okay, so you should by now have something that kind of looks like this. I know it's a little awkward, but hopefully it didn't twist on you and it wasn't too difficult. That's the hardest. That's part of the hardest part right there, I believe. Then we're going to turn it like so, and we're going to work row 3. We are going to, you may want to mark your row starting here with your contrasting piece of yarn, because we're going to be working in continuous rounds later on. So it always helps to start to mark your rows. I always usually, once I get it started, then I mark my row. It's just easier for me. You'll figure out a way to do it that's easiest for you. So on here, this is row 3 that we're getting ready to work on. We're going to single in each and then join at the end. We're going to single all around, and then we're going to join it again, and but we're not going to chain 1. We're just going to keep going. We're going to be working in continuous rounds after this row. So on this row, we're going to, I know, like I said, this is a little unconventional crocheting, but this is how it was created. So we're just going to follow that pattern. So for this row, you just go ahead and single all the way around till we get to the other end, and I'll be back. Okay, that was row 3. Okay, once we get to the end, we're going to join here at the end. And we're not going to chain one, we're just going to keep going. So for rows 4 through 7, you're going to just single around. So you should have, currently right now, you should have something that looks kind of like this. Like a couple rows of crochet here. So you should have like 3 rows. Well, actually two full single crochet rows and your chain row. So that was row 3. Now we're on to row 4. So row 4 through 7 is going to be completely single crochet, and we're going to do that in continuous rounds. So you're not going to join, you're not going to chain one. When you get to the end, you're just going to mark your place and keep going to the next row. And then it will build up a little bit higher. It does get easier once you get a little bit more thickness going, so it won't turn as much, and you won't get any twisting any longer. So hopefully you did this part okay, and you should have something that kind of looks like that. So now we're just going to continue on through rows 4 through 7. Remember, it's all continuous rounds. Remember to mark your row, and we'll be back when we get to the end of row 7. Okay, we're at the end of row 7. Now you should have something that kind of looks like this. Kind of looks like a headband almost. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go to row 8, and in row 8 we're going to start our decreases. We're still working in continuous rounds, so we're not going to join. We're just going to keep going. We're going to mark our row, our beginning of our row, and what we're going to do is we're going to decrease in every 3rd stitch. So we're going to do single, 1 single, 2 singles, and then we're going to do a single decrease. There's 3, and then pull through. Now, if you don't know how to do a single decrease, there's a lot of videos on YouTube that will teach you how to do a single crochet decrease. Just to do that, I'll show you here just quickly. So we're at the first decrease, and now we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet, and then a single decrease. Now to do that, you're going to pull 1 through. Now you have 2 loops, and you're going to go through the next one. Now you have 3 loops. So you went through two individual stitches, and now you're going to pull through all 3 of those loops, and that's how you create a single decrease. We're going to do that for the rest of all the way around to the rest of row 8, and then once we're finished, I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So now we're at the end of row 8. We're going to start row 9 and 10. Now 9 and 10 is going to be done exactly the same as row 8. We're going to do a decrease in every 3rd stitch, or every 3rd crochet. So what has happened here is at the end you didn't end with the decrease. You should have probably ended with with 2 singles. So what we're going to do is just continue on like that with that same sequence. We're not going to stop and then start again. We're just going to continue on. So I ended with 2. That's why this pattern is pretty forgiving. So if you miss a stitch, or you skip something and you're like, oh, you don't have to undo it. Just work with it, and it'll work out in the end. So we ended up with 2 singles. So we did the decrease, and then we have the 2 singles, and then that's the end of the row. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark our next row, and then now we're going to do the decrease on the start of row 9. So you're just going to keep going with that sequence for row 9 and 10. So once you get to the end of 10, stop at the row here, and whatever you end with, that's what you're going to end with. I'm not sure, but I think you're going to stop with the same way, like the 2 stitches, I believe. I'll know more when I get to that end. I can't remember off the top of my head. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to keep that sequence going for the next 2 rows. Okay? And I'll be back once we get done with row 10. Okay, we're at the end of row 10 now. Now, hopefully I didn't miss any stitches. I don't think I did. But you're going to end, you should probably end with one, like a D, you have ended with your decrease, and then there should be one stitch right here before your actually, that's your first row. You should have ended with a single decrease. Okay. Now your rows 11 and 12. Sorry about that. So rows 11 and 12. We're going to single in row 11. Come to the end. We're going to join it. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work and single back the other way, and then we're going to join. Because what we're doing, because you should have something that looks like this now. It's a little weird, but once we put it together and then stuff it, all these wrinkles will kind of go away, and it'll kind of give a ruffled look onto the bottom of the pants portion. Okay, but this will all like fluff up once you stuff the doll. Excuse me. So we're going to mark our row. We're going to start row 11 just as we were, like as a continuous round kind of thing. We're not going to join that. We're going to just keep going around until we get to the end of row 11. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn the work around and work row 12 in the opposite direction, and then join it, and then chain 1, and then you're going to stop, and then we're going to then I'll be back with row 13, because we're going to do something a little bit different. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, we're at the end of row 13. I joined it. I chained 1, so you should be like this now. So you're going to have like almost looks like an upside down beanie, or a beanie right here a little bit, with a hole in the top. So, I mean, that's what it kind of looks like. Kind of looks funky, but that's just how it looks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create like a little flap that's going to go from here, and then it's going to go over to the top, and then we're going to attach it over here. So in order to do that, we're going to single. You did your chain 1 here. We're going to single in 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you're going to stop. Okay. Then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work, and you're going to keep doing that till you reach row, I believe it's 23. Because it's going to create a long little flap that we're going to pull over and attach over here. So, and then we're going to attach the legs into 2 little openings right here. So what we need to do is make that flap, and that's what we're doing now. So you're just going to chain. So you're going to chain 5, chain 1, turn, chain 5 back, chain 1, and then 5, then back and forth till you reach like row 23. And then once I get to there, then I'll be back. Okay, we're at the end of row 23. So now you should have something that kind of looks like this, with a little flap like this. And because that's what I meant, you're going to go back and forth, 5 single crochets across. It's going to create like this little tongue thingy here. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach it with a slip stitch evenly right across to the other side. See, that's why I said if you missed a stitch or anything like that, it's okay, because you can fix it and you can hide it. It's not a problem. It won't hinder the pattern in any way. So just attach it straight across as evenly as possible. Try to make the same amount of stitches on each side for the openings, because we're going to attach the legs inside of here. So you're going to take this and you're going to, oops, let me get this around here. Let me get my yarn ready. And I believe it should be about 11 stitches on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in the 11th stitch, just kind of do a slip stitch right there, and just like so. And then you're going to go through the next hole on the flap, and you're going to attach it here, like on the other side. You're going to do a slip stitch, like so. And you're going to keep doing that all the way across until you have attached your flap to the other side of the ring here. Okay, row 5. And then we're going to attach like so. Okay, so now you should have something that kind of looks like that. Oops, let me pull that out a little bit. Okay. Oops, I made a little mistake right there. But that's okay. I can go back and fix that. Because my yarn was a little loose right there. So I'm just going to undo this and I'll redo it so that it's not so pronounced, that piece of yarn right here. See how it's sticking up right there, but it pretty much kind of goes seamless almost. You can still see the stitch here, but it's okay. You won't even notice it because it'll be between the legs. If you like, you can even just turn this inside out before you attach the legs and see, voila, look how seamless that kind of showed up. And now you have these two openings right here. Actually, you don't even have to I wouldn't even have to go back and fix that because I know it's attached. I can just cut it off and leave it, and then just turn it inside out and look. Well, yeah, I do have to because see, it's coming loose there, but you get the idea. This is what we're doing. So I'll just go back and reattach it and start over right here and tighten it up a little bit, make it so it's more secure. But see how seamless that is right there, and you've created these two little openings that are about the same size, and we're going to attach the legs inside of here, and we'll just pretty much slip stitch in each one of these, the legs, or sew them right in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that, and I'll be right back. Okay, for row 24, we're still going to work on the inside here. For row 24, what we're going to do is, now that we've attached, we're still on the inside of the body. So, and I went ahead and fixed that problem that I had at the beginning. We're going to chain 1, okay, and then what we're going to do is for 2 rows, we're going to single around this side up back to here. Don't worry about this yet. We're going to single around this for 2 rows and continuous round. So that'd be 24 and 25 row. Don't join, just continue the 2 rows and then stop when you get to this row on row, I believe it would be 26. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So we're on row 26. I went ahead and I singled around these this opening. We did it for 2 continuous rounds. So now this would be row 26. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do, you should have something that kind of looks, if you flatten it out, it's going to look like that. See, because it's going to have like a little pipe thing here. See how it lifts up like that? You should have something that looks like that. Okay, with the flap in the middle, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side, but we'll end up like slip stitching across and then starting over on this side. See, the slip stitch, you won't see it when we turn it inside out, and then that way it's kind of seamless. I try to do this without sewing as much as possible because that's the portion of of crocheting that I don't really care to do. So if I could do as much with the hook as I possibly can, I do that. So so now on this next row, what we're going to do is we're going to do 9 single crochets. We're going to turn it and then do 9 back, and then you're going to stop. And I'll be right back once we get to that portion. Okay, this is row, this would be, we're going to start on row 27. Now, when you did row 26, you did 9 this way, then you turned your work, and then did 9 back. So now you're going to have something a little bit uneven, like kind of like so. But we're going to do that again. Because we want this to be a little higher. It's going to give the the legs a little bit of limber, so they'll flop around a little bit when we do attach them together. So we're going to do that same thing. We're just going to do 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, I think I miscounted. Okay, there was 9. Yeah, I miscounted. Okay, and then we're going to turn our work, and then we're going to go back. Count this first chain as 1. So then there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. See, and that's an easy thing to do. If you miss a stitch and you're short on a stitch or something, just add another one to the end. It's no big deal. It's crochet. You can do. It's forgiving. You can really you can really make it work for what you need it to do. This is all going to be hidden. You're not going to see this, so it's not going to be a big deal. Okay, so once we get to that, now what we're going to do is we're not going to cut it off or anything. We're going to slip stitch any way you want to over to this side. I know that's a little odd, but if you can create a slip stitch all the way down this crease and over to this corner, that's the best thing to do. So the easiest way to do that, I think you just kind of pick holes and just kind of create little slip stitches through all the way down the row. I know this is a little different than what a normal pattern would call for, but it works, and it's hard to describe writing it down in a pattern to slip stitch over to the other side. I know you could say that, but I try to do as much no sewing as possible, and you just kind of force it in there, and you really shouldn't have to. It should slide right in easily, like so, and you're just going to slip stitch over to this side. So if you can just grab it on a loop or whatever, that's okay, because you're not. The point is we want to get the yarn over to the other side without cutting the yarn. So the least amount of sewing, the better. The less you're going to have to do later. That's why I started with the feet and worked my way up the body, because I wanted to do as much no sewing as possible. Okay, so now we're at the other end. See, so it really didn't make that big of a change. I mean, because this is going to be the this is the outside. See, you won't even see that. So it's not a problem. And then this is going to stick out like that, and then I'll show you later. We'll attach the legs inside of here. But that flap is so that the legs will bend with the doll when you sit it down or whatever. So that's why I did it like that. But we're still working on the inside, okay? Because see, all this is going to be hidden on the inside, and you're going to fill it full of stuffing. So who cares if the stitches are like that? You didn't have to sew anything. Great. So, but we're going to repeat the same. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So just repeat rows. I believe that was row 24 through 27. Okay. So you're going to do 2 rows of continuous rounds. Okay. And then when you get to the end, you're going to do 9. Then you're going to turn. You're going to do 9, then back, and then you should be done. Then don't finish it off. Pull a very long loop so it doesn't come unraveled. And then we're going to turn the work inside out. Okay, and then we'll come back for the next video, and we'll be attaching the legs, and I'll show you how to do that at that point. Okay, so just go ahead and keep doing that around here, and do the same thing you did here on this side, and come back for the next video, and I'll show you how to attach the legs. Thank you. Okay, so now once you're done with the other side, you should have something that kind of looks like this. Okay, and that's what it should look like when we're done with this portion. And then what we're going to do, we're going to turn the work in the other direction. Say like this. And voila, see what happens? You're going to have kind of like a seamless right here. This is the outside. Okay. I know the pattern said to turn it inside out, but I think I'm going to have to change that. And I was thinking that it was already right side out, but the other way. So I made a mistake with the pattern there. See, I'm finding new things out as I'm creating these videos, making this pattern. So, but leave it inside out like this, and then we're going to attach the legs, because this is what it should look like right now. If you flipped it over, this is what it would look like. We're going to attach the legs right inside of there. Okay, but we're going to do that in here, right through here. Okay, so this is what you should have when you're done with those rows. Kind of looks like a ring with a hole through it, or I don't know, like a little spin top. I don't know. Oh well. Anyway, we're gonna. I'll come. The next video, it will have that. We'll be attaching the legs. Okay. I just wanted to add that and show you to make sure that you saw that the finished before we went on to attach the legs.